To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could all stay standing and some of the songs for students who, sorry, in Texas. Thanks. Thanks. So now we're going to publish one.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell everybody that the Support Staff Association had a bake sale for at Hillsdale IGA, May 7th. Mickey and Minnie Mouse were there.
You know, I drove by you. I took my dog for a walk and I saw you and I waved. Was that you?
No, I was Mickey. I think better Mickey.
I wish I would have known. I would have pulled in there.
So Mickey and Minnie Mouse were there waving to everybody supporting it on 23. We made $2,433 on that bake sale. The Support Staff Fundraising Committee is going to be taking it on the road now to community and town events during the summer, doing bake sales and different things. What we're trying to do now is raise money for our scholarship fund. As it stands right now, I think for the past 20 years, we've only been able to support 2 kids. And what we choose is members of our support, children from our support staff that we choose. We'd like to choose, be able to have enough money for more of them or for others. This year was the first year in 20 years we didn't have any support staff children. So the executive team chose a stepchild from a support staff member that was going into the armed services and another student going into a trade school from the regular, the Support Staff Association would like to raise more money to help more of the kids, the staff members or kids just going into trade schools.
That's awesome, Chris. So let us know the next time because I'll definitely come.
Okay, all right.
Next, Lisa, please.
Hello, everyone. Hi. So, as you are aware, on the night of the budget vote, we had a very successful learning fair. I think some of you were spotted there. We had a great attendance. There was a lot of activities for the elementary students, a lot of fun. We also had members of our unit join a panel that was with other community members, just to try and raise awareness of the different resources that are out there for mental health for community members. I want to give a shout out to our elementary student council. They presented the New York State Troopers a check for $176.25 for K9 vests. The student council members enjoyed doing the project and they really liked the fact that they helped protect our little K9 troopers. On your agenda tonight are signed agreements recognizing all the faculty and staff at TH for the efforts and the challenges through COVID. I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their perseverance, care, concern, and flexibility that was shown during this time. I saw food service workers, bus drivers, and maintenance quickly organize a delivery food service for our students. I mean, it was quite a thing. It was really remarkable. I saw teachers who, in some cases, including myself, Zoom was a nice childhood show. We had to teach virtually. You know, it was just not something that we're used to or accustomed to. I saw teachers and staff panic and even cry when they didn't have contact with certain students. I saw entertaining and silly ways to engage students, right down to contests, crazy costumes. I have a picture of one. I will share with you if anyone wants to see it. And dunking our faces in flour. I mean, we just did some really crazy stuff. We saw math, we saw schedule changes with no notice, reassignments, quarantining on a second, quarantining ourselves, students quarantining, blended Zoom, in-person classes, and the list goes on. So to all that I had the privilege to go through this with, thank you for my respect and my appreciation. I would like to congratulate our teachers that are on the agenda that earned their tenure through this very difficult time. And with appreciation in mind, I hope that you guys accept the thank you cards that we signed for you. You know, from truly, we appreciate, as you can see, we're very tired. So the long weekend is going to be very restorative for us, and we truly do appreciate. And I also wanted to mention that teacher appreciation was overwhelming and just incredible. And we saw the notes that all you guys wrote, and just, you know, everything that you did with your table set up outside and greeting us at the door. It was heartwarming, and we really truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Kevin. Oh, Reese. I'm sorry, Kevin.
My signature is terrible, I'll apologize.
All right.
This month I get to speak for myself instead of standing in for Lisa, so. Again, I wanted to just dovetail off what she was saying, and thank you all for your support on Teachers Appreciation Day. I think that communication and that heartfelt thank you and communication is where we need to go. I think that we need to expand upon that as much as we can to help prevent tragedies that happen in Texas. It's relationships that make this place safe. So the more we can have better relationships with each other and with the students and as a community, the safer we'll all be. So thank you for reaching out to us. I hope it continues because that's how we're going to survive. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Looking at a motion for the acceptance of the agenda, please. Joe, second. Carrie, any questions? All in favor? Okay, I need a motion for the acceptance of the consensus agenda, please. Bill, second. Alicia, all right, so let's go through that. So we have two retirements. We have Judy Webb. She's been here for 30 years. She started in September of '92. We have Robert Burda, who's been here for 16 years. He started here in August of '06. So we wish them both well in their new journey. We have Alice, who's here tonight. It's one of the teachers getting tenure. Congratulations, Alice. We have James Contori and Priscilla Court as well, who've gotten tenure.
So we go ahead and publicly scratch.
Yes. It's got a couple of things to strike. So 5D, the establishment of the Spanish teacher, that's going to be a strike for this month, right? Neil? That's
Right.
Right. And then we have another one on B, the secretary one. That's a strike as well. Those are strikes, yeah. Those are two strikes. We're not doing it.
No, we're only striking the Spanish teacher at this time.
And the secretary one?
And the secretary one, Bill's question was the French, and I said.
Oh, okay. And then if you look at D,
What, I'm so sorry, what is the print out one? Highlight.
That's a late item.
It was late item.
Item.
Yeah. sorry. And D is, the date on there says 2026, it should be 2025. And G, there's a blank space down at the bottom. The name is Trevor Sigler.
Correct.
We're adding that.
It's the fourth student who's going to help out.
Any other questions? All right, any more questions? Anybody got anything? All right, all in favor? Thank you. All right, we have present, or wait. We need present, we have presentation. Community access to the arts, Beth Ann Brooklyn, special education teacher, and Justin Westfall.
My name is Beth Silver. I'm the 1213 life skills teacher. And I'm here tonight to talk briefly about the amazing work my students have done through the CATA workshops. The CATA workshops were funded through a grant awarded by the Berkshire Planet Foundation. And CATA stands for Community Access to the Arts. The organization strives to shine a light on the abilities of students with disabilities. Many of the works of art are displayed in our local museums and art centers. There are also events throughout the year for the public to come and view the works of art. The abilities of my students have definitely shown through in their work. The traveling art teacher, Selena Banks, came for 8 weeks to teach the students about 3D art. The students were engaged, happy, and fully participated in all of the classes. And on the table in the corner there are some of the work that they've done with clay fish. The paper mache fish, there's a picture, but they are not here because they're going to be displayed. Justin will tell you about that in a few minutes. And this is truly a successful program. And now here's Justin to tell you a little more about the project that they completed.
Good evening. My name is Justin Westfall, and I learned to enjoy art through the CATA classes. We made pinch pots, clay fish, paper mache fish, paper mache masks, and 3D paper sculptures. My favorite project, the paper mache fish, will be displayed at the Liechtenstein Center for the Arts in Pittsfield, along with my classmates' paper mache fish. You may view the other projects in the display case outside in the hall. Thank you.
Opportunity to take a look at the fish and the ones in the hallway.
Yeah, where are they?
Displayed by my teaching assistant. She set that up out there, so please enjoy. And
Thank you so much. You did a great job, Justin.
Thank
And there's also a track shot on the traffic.
All right, we have reports now. The audit committee, Joe.
All right, so we met today with Mr. Churchill to discuss the 2022 audit process. Preliminary external audit field work dates are May 31st to June 2nd. Concluding external audit field work dates are July 26th and July 28th. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Superintendent report.
Okay, so we're in the discussions with a group who is contemplating putting a solar farm up on 217. This is before we kind of get to Coark and Mellonville. Back on the right there, there's a field. It kind of came as a surprise. Usually I'm notified by the Economic Development Corporation or the Columbia County Industrial Development Agency. And to my knowledge, the town and also them were taken back a little bit. So you'll see in your agenda tonight that we are going to reserve our right to negotiate with the commission. Also, Today, we visited the Clock Estate, which is another pilot for consideration on County Route 27. And Bonnie went and Sybil went with me. And I'm feeling much better about this pilot, knowing their operation now and looking what their goals are and how they would like to move forward in cooperation with the school district in several areas, which might provide our students some opportunities. So we'll, as we firm those things up, I'll give the board more information about that. We do have an increase in COVID-19 in students and staff. We're monitoring this very closely, again, with the other superintendents in Columbia County and the Department of Health. And this may be some of Sandra's thunder. The admin team will be attending some professional development up at the University of Albany, August 2nd and 3rd. And this program is called the Compass Program. And there are several other school districts in Columbia County and in Questar and Capital District that are attending as well. It's basically a leadership program that will be attending. The New York State Department of Education made a decision this week to cancel the history regents and to exempt the 180-day requirement of school rule. I don't know why the 180 days fell into their purview for this particular situation, but apparently on the regents, there's something that could be considered offensive, possibly in lieu of the Buffalo school or the Buffalo shooting at the Top supermarket. So for some reason, they felt that there could be a social emotional concern, and the commissioner decided to cancel that with the approval of the regents. So it's just an interesting development. We're going to see how that plays out and what that means for some of our graduates as it's a requirement. A couple other things. They're going to be repaving the Deconic Parkway, and that will affect a lot of our employees and maybe some of our bus routes. We kind of found out about this through civil monitoring some local channels, but it's interesting, but I wanted to let everybody know about that too. And we are not doing any testing for monkeypox, and we do not have kitty litter boxes in any bathrooms.
I just want to touch on one of the things that he said when we went to the clock place today. What I liked about the gentleman who spoke with was that he was very open to offering our kids some sort of internships, apprenticeships. He was very open to that, so I was happy about that, because that's one of the things that I like. So I was happy that he was willing to do something like that.
Next to the solar.
No,
No, that was the Brandy Farm.
Which produces.
They have apple trees and grapes they have.
Oh, okay.
How long is the pilot to look for?
10 years.
10 years, yeah.
What's up the solar one?
What was
We
the
don't
name?
know yet.
What was the name of the company for the solar farm?
You said the name.
No, I sent it to you in an email.
Okay.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Long Road Development.
Well, I think they can only access that from the roof.
That would be interesting.
No, that's the only place to way to get back.
I don't know if it's landlocked or not.
That's all right across. No, all that property comes back around behind by the post office, and then the frontage of that property is right by the post office. It only has about 100 foot of frontage on 217 by the post office, but then the property goes in the back and opens all the way up to Ronzani.
So that's what I was thinking, that Joe owned the property in front there because his
Yeah.
daughter built the house.
Yeah, so it's behind there, so they're gonna, the only access is from there or.
The other thing I guess I'm going to mention and is that I'd like to take a few minutes in executive session to talk about the principal interviews and how to move forward with some of those, because we really need to get
Can I just ask you a question, if there's only limited access, is that a safety hazard? For our
The
citizens?
bridge, the bridges are made for cement trucks.
Yeah.
So they'll be bringing the cement with wheelbarrow. I don't know, nothing to do with the bridge, it's a farm bridge.
Okay, so the buildings and department reports, we have, Drew Mary Bee.
So Lisa and I are gonna have to start comparing notes before these meetings. We had I want to reiterate what she said. The Learning Fair was really just a tremendous success. We were all really pleased with the turnout. And I wanted to thank students, parents, teachers, board members, all of the people that participated and helped out with that. And I also want to thank stewards for the donation of the ice cream. That was pretty fantastic. Our fifth graders have just wrapped up their DARE classes. So you should have all, and I will get the new people invited as well, but you should have all received an email invitation for the DARE
What's the date
graduation.
again?
It is June 17th and it's at 12:45. Oh, come on, I don't know. It's a Friday.
Friday, yeah.
So they're getting very excited. We've got the shirts. They've been working on their song. It's going to be a good time. And also we are just taking some field trips to local spots. We've got a group going up to the rail trail. And we also have students going to Martin Van Buren's house. So they're taking advantage of, community things. And also the Elementary Drama Club is going to have an evening performance on the 8th. It's not an actual play. I believe it's small skits. So it's going to be on the 8th in the evening, and then they're going to do a performance for the students on the 9th. So we're excited about all of those things, and then we'll give you the dates of the other moving up ceremonies and things like that.
What time on the 8th?
Yes, correct.
I don't know. She didn't give me a time yet.
The first meeting on the week, right?
That's our workshop.
The students were telling me 6:30, but they're not trustworthy.
She had not. I actually asked for this very purpose,
Yeah.
but we didn't have a firm time yet.
We make that a workshop?
And typically they were gonna do that to the other students during the day.
Let me see what I can do.
There's going to be a performance the following day for the
Okay.
students.
I just want to say too, I did go to, Alicia and I went to the Spring Into Learn and Terry, yes, we met Terry there. I really like some of the projects. There was one project, and I told Joe about it. You probably didn't make it, did you? The one kid, he made like a diesel engine and a gas engine. I said, and I thought of Joe when I saw that. So he would have loved to have seen that. So
They did a great job.
they really did,
Oh.
yeah.
It was really impressive.
And I really love those ice cream things that they made with the shaving cream.
It
That
was
looked
cheap creative.
real.
Yeah, I know. It was great. I mean, everybody enjoyed it.
It was fun. All right. We have Jim Burmeister, high school.
That's fine.
Hi.
I guess probably I should have compared notes with Neil, because I had 5 minutes on monkeypox and kid widow. Switch gears a little bit and talk about a few other things. So on June 24th, we're just barely under a month until graduation. It's coming up real fast. We're having lots of meetings with any of our seniors that are even remotely at risk to make sure that everything's on track and we're going to get them through graduation. When you get your graduation programs, you're going to see the number of colleges and programs our kids are going into. We really have a lot of good, interesting, diverse choices for our students, and it's a reflection of what they've learned throughout the years at Peconic Hills, which is helping them get into this. So it's a testament to all the work of the teachers and everybody else as well. I've only got 2 more times to address you, just this month and next month, and I figure with John Dodd's not here, I've got at least another 8 seconds to add on to my speech. So we'll go back a few meetings. I'll steal a little bit more from him as well. I just wanted to, while I have the board here, to be able to express my gratitude and appreciation and explain that a little bit for board members in general and you guys as a board. You guys do so much for the district. You do it on a volunteer basis. You sacrifice your times for meetings. And I know the amount of time that you must spend talking to community members to be able to reflect what it is that they have as an interest in here. You don't just set policy, you set the tone for the district and the value that people in this district, the community members have for education. And it's such a valuable role, and it has a personal meaning to me. And I usually don't talk too much about the, what my family has done and anything from my past, because that's not me. I'm more about, what I'm doing in the moment right now. But my family has a deep history when it comes to the board. My brother served 2 terms recently as a board, on the board at Niskayuna. Long before him, my grandfather was a board member at Scotia Glenville when the building was built for that. He went on from there to be the head of the New York State School Boards Association, and for a term, the head of the National School Board Association. I found a lot about this out from him by researching some stuff on a school project where I found that he was on the Nixon tapes, talking as a member of the National School Board in Nixon's office, advocating for education. He went on from there, well, actually it was before then, he was the president of the New York State Teachers Retirement Board for 25 years. So I grew up just knowing that you value education, and that value the tone is set by board members. So I appreciate all of you and what you do, and in general, just anybody who's willing to give the time. You make a difference in the lives of the teachers, the staff members, and the students. And you might not see it right away, but the positive things that you do will certainly affect people going forward. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Construction and staff development, Sandra.
Yeah, so I have to follow that, right? So one of the things I want to talk about tonight is the memo I sent you recently about looking at our school culture and moving forward with work in that direction. And we have had one conference call, and we have another one scheduled for tomorrow. So I hope by June we can give you a further plan on what we could do over the next few years. But with that, I want to thank you for the nod of approval to move forward on that. It's a really wonderful initiative and gives us lots of opportunities. In fact, I'm even encouraged Mr. Reese to coming back and helping with the facilitation of it as a volunteer. PD committee was very excited about the changes that provides. So, yeah. So thank you for that. Otherwise, we really have been in my office tying up loose ends as far as testing and things like that. Alice is an ENL teacher that performs all of our nicest slide testing. That's quite a job because most of that's done individually. So that's individually. We've been working with both buildings on schedule and just preparing for next year, and we're looking forward to being somewhat normal.
Never bad as anymore.
Yes.
Thanks, Sandra. Business office, civil?
It's the end of May, so it's the beginning of audit season, so that's what we'll be doing for that 2.5 months.
Nice. Well, Stella's not here tonight. And we have Golden Surprise.
So on the agenda tonight, to approve the resignation of Hope Glasser, the secretary for the Buildings and Grounds Department. Who, all I can really say is I really wish I hadn't done that. So Hope's been a great asset to the department, and we're going to miss her greatly, and we all wish her well.
Hopefully that's what we do.
Transportation.
Hi, how's everybody? I'd like to talk about a couple of things tonight, give you some updates. If you remember back last spring, we put forward a budget initiative for the tablets in the buses with the card readers that would be able to tell parents when their kids were on the bus. And it sounded like a really good program, so we were starting to work on implementation of it, and we came across a couple of stumbling blocks. Number one was lack of support from the company, from the sales department to get us what we needed to start it. And after doing some talking to other districts, we found out that it was indeed very heavily reliable on 3G and 4G service. So if any of you have driven around the southern part of the district,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, even though Verizon's map shows that we're fully covered, okay, so we asked for a demo. Can't have a demo. So we're having second thoughts on this, and I'm not thinking that the cost would give us the benefits that we're looking for. So for right now, we want to put that on hold. Because after all, we have spent enough money in transportation this year with the increased fuel costs and other issues and whatever. The second issue I want to talk about, most of you know that for the last 10 years or so, we've been keeping a close eye on what the EPA does as far as giving out grant funding for replacement of school buses for, cleaner energy, that kind of thing. We actually took advantage of that and were chosen in a lottery 6 or 7 years ago to replace one of our buses. They gave us some money towards the purchase of a new bus. So that was very nice. And it was all done by a lottery system. So for the last 4 or 5 years, though, they've kind of shifted how they've rewarded this money. We haven't actually qualified in the last 5 or 6 years to apply for these clean diesel grants, is what they were called, because we did not live in what they considered a disadvantaged community. I'm not sure how they quantified that, but we were not.
Same way they quantify everything.
Well, yeah, I think our water was mentioned, but anyway, they've changed now, and this year is totally new. And we actually qualify for what's going on right now. Well, let me tell you what it is before you say nice. So, about the governor's decree of electric buses and what's going to happen with that. We've also had the passage of the infrastructure bill federally, which is going to give $5 billion across the country in the next 5 years to transition school districts over to electric buses. So I know that all of you know how unfunded mandates come down, right? We've seen a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them in 30-some years I've been around. This sounds like this could be a funded mandate. The current clean diesel program is now the clean school bus program. It's still being done by a lottery, but we qualify to have a prioritized application. That means that if we are chosen, we could receive up to $375,000 per bus for up to 25 buses. This is coming from the infrastructure.
That seems so too good to be true.
So, well, there's a big if here, because the if is if you win the whole lottery thing, the way they choose the name. But if our name were to be chosen, we would get that kind of money that pays for the full cost of an electric bus. So I wouldn't go after 25 buses, but I'd go after the 10 buses that we have on in-district routes and keep 6 or 7 buses for the longer sports trips where the electric buses just can't quite make it that far yet. I think it's an opportunity. I think this is going to happen eventually. I have misgivings in the sense that I don't know how everything is supposed to work with the batteries and how do you recycle and all that, but everybody else is in the same boat as I am.
Right.
Okay, so if they're offering the possibility of this money, I think I have to apply for it. And then we can have more discussions when we find out that we got it. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, first thing I would ask is, what kind of training are the mechanics gonna need? How much the equipment is gonna be to check these buses? Are we gonna have diesel pony motors that's gonna just cancel out all the savings? Because I'm a big one
What's the
against
diesel
getting-
pony motor?
to make the heat, because it's cold out. They
Uh,
said when we had the thing here, they had the diesel pony
That's not
motor.
part of the grant. That's not allowed in the grant.
Right, so then we're gonna have electric buses that are gonna use the electric to make heat, so they're not gonna be able to go for it.
They've already changed a lot of what we were presented with at that time. So I understand Bluebird just filled an order of 30 of these, and it looks like that they are going to be supplying a large amount of cash in this area. It's coming from everybody's back. Okay.
That's why they have made a hybrid.
And the people from Matthews Buses have already put out to us a link for training for the mechanics, for firemen, for anybody who has to work on the bus. They realize that they have all these things that they have to do. I've got the same misgivings you do, Joe, but I'm looking at this, we're gonna have to do this. And if we can get the money to pay for it, I think we ought to go for it.
I understand that, but the bus is heavier. They'll tell you that they take the motor out, but it's heavier because of batteries, and these back roads with the snow, these heavier buses are gonna go off the, and I'll put it in layman's terms, they're gonna go off the road more better. Okay, and then they're gonna be hard to get out, and then they're gonna get broken when they can't get them out.
So I guess we're faced with the dilemma of when they mandate this, right? If they say they are going to, it, things change all the time, guys. And, and technology progresses as well. But I guess I'm aligned with Rick, is that I feel like if we don't apply for this and they mandate it, we're gonna be behind the eight ball.
And you're gonna pay more insurance for electric bus.
I don't disagree with any of that, but, if you look at some of the studies, and we were talking about this last night, the maneuverability of these buses, I mean, we have hills and curves and, so far, everything I read said it's extremely difficult for these buses to even get around certain geographic areas.
They're almost 3 times the regular diesel bus, so a collision in our insurance is gonna be more for every bus. So you gotta look at it all over the place, how much more it's gonna cost you.
But I
So
don't
these
disagree
are
with,
details, okay, that we can cover in a later date, okay?
Okay, all right.
Like when they say you've got the money, you're welcome to say we don't want it,
okay,
Well, we can leave it up to the
and I guess
taxpayers
that's an
too.
important thing to get on the record.
right?
Leave it up to the people, so then it's not our fault. Put it on the-
Well,
Well, some of the things you just mentioned, I have not heard, and we did drive in an electric bus, how many years ago was that?
great.
We didn't go that long, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
We just went up the dirt back road over here by, off of 23, and it seemed to go up the hill and down the hill fine.
Well, I was just sharing a little comment that the gentleman made that this demonstrated the bus, there was something with the GVW rating. And I questioned it, and he said, well, just raise the amount on the registration. I'm like, we can't do that. We're a school. We can't register the bus for more than it's capable of. That was the guy suggested. With the bus was
Gross
raised-
weight you're talking about?
Hmm?
Gross weight?
GVW was lowered to 33,000 and 37,000 because the batteries were in the back, and I said, well, that means you can only hold less kids if you lower the rear axle. He said, well, just raise the registration. I said, you can't do that, we're a school. Apparently, I was the only one that asked the question, the only one on
What,
the
you think I would have known anything about that?
Yeah, I don't-
Come on. I know that.
I would
it's
think
not that.
that they would have that all figured out.
We register a vehicle for the GVWR that's on the documents that we get when
That's
they
what I
give us
told
the
them, but
bus.
if the back, if the rear axle's rated less because there's batteries back there, that means you can't hold as heavy as kids.
And what makes you think it is?
Because he said it was.
I was back
He
down.
said it was. If you got batteries in the back.
I don't know that.
And how long does it take to charge these buses? Is it still like the 8 hours?
There's two ways to do it, okay? There's stage 1, stage 2, and I may have these reversed. The stage 1 is about 7 hours to go from 0 battery to full charge. Okay, stage 2 would probably require a little bit different wiring, but it'll charge the bus in 2.5 hours.
So one of the interesting things that seems to keep coming up is that when less buses are used during the summer, they actually act as storage centers for electricity. And that can be used in other ways. And then how to link it to our 2 solar arrays over here possibly. And then, you talk about demand for electricity, and electricity flows both ways in some of these. So there are some other interesting opportunities to try to move the district to maybe a net zero And we're also looking at those types of ideas as well.
And we can certainly get any questions answered. This program, if we were to apply, the applications are open now. You would receive notice of an award.
Well, it makes
by-
sense to us to
Yeah.
apply.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Like this,
You don't have to have everything done until October of 2024. So, you know,
And there does need to be more infrastructure put in place. I mean, it's not.
well, the batteries don't like the cold either, so we're gonna have to leave them plugged in even if they're charged to keep them warm. Batteries don't like the cold. They discharge in the cold.
I think that the technology is progressing so quickly. I don't know if they've come up with a lot of the things that the solutions for a lot of the things. Part of this, we're just gonna have to wait and see how things progress.
Does that grant include charging stations or?
it includes $20,000 per bus for infrastructure for the charging, from the meter to the bus. They won't pay for anything from the power company to the meter, but 20,000 per bus for a prioritized application, which we would have. So, I mean, what you're looking at is probably 10 buses I would apply for. That's $3.7 million plus $200,000 of infrastructure money. And it's kind of one of those things that, let's see if we get the money and then decide whether or not we want to go forward with it.
I would like to know, we know right now, we put this much diesel in the bus, it costs this much to do the run. I would like to know how much it costs to do the run with the electric bus being charged.
If all is equal,
And
I
it's
have
secret
those
right now
numbers.
with electric cars, I'm trying to find out.
Joe, if all is equal, I have those numbers. It is less expensive based on the charging rates that we're paying right now for electricity to run an electric bus versus a diesel bus. If all is equal, the problem is it's not equal. The electric bus costs a lot more, all right? But if you take that cost a lot more out of it and somebody gives us that, now all of a sudden, electric looks better.
But the insurance is more, there's other things that.
I don't know about that, but we'll look at.
Well, it looks like cash value. If you have replacement insurance, if the bus is 330,000 instead of 120, they're not gonna charge you the same collision for a $120,000 bus as a $300,000 bus.
I understand the reasoning, but I'm just not sure that that's what they're gonna do.
Well, if I was an insurance company, I would insure a $300,000 bus with a rate of 120.
So we have until 2024 to apply for it.
You have till the end of August to apply for it.
This year.
This year, you have until the end of 2024 to have a whole implementation. In other words, buses ordered, buses received, and buses that you're gonna scrap to be gone.
So you're looking for,
I guess I'm looking for a head nod. Should I apply for this?
Yeah, it can't hurt to apply for it. Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. John's not here tonight, so we have hands up, cafeteria.
Okay, food topics. Thanksgiving is a turkey sandwich club, little slider one. Macaroni and cheese, which is a recipe we got from the Soviet Center, which includes butternut squash in it that was pureed. So students who didn't see it, it just kind of went right in that button. And it went like crazy, so that was good.
That's funny.
And Annie's homemade cookies.
Oh, and I've already tasted one. They
Oh
are
my God.
amazing. They are amazing.
All right, so in my department, I just finished my child nutrition administrative review with SED, and it was quite extensive to say the least. I had to provide documents for procurement procedures for the distributors that we purchase our food, milk supplies from. My menus were reviewed. Some of the information requested was product formulation statements of all menu items, which I had to get from the manufacturers of the food. Copies of labels to prove that we're purchasing only made in America products. Standardized recipes for all meals served. Serving sizes, temperature records, number of student meals versus adult meals served each day. Proof that each, Mary, like this one, proof that each and every week we've offered a dark green vegetable, a
I
red
can
orange
verify.
vegetable, a starchy vegetable, legumes were ordered, and what they call, and other vegetables also offered. Each week I have to have like a rainbow of vegetables. Also meal count verification reference to claims. A couple of the areas we need to improve on was the cook's production sheets. They didn't list, they listed the amount of milk that was sold, but they didn't separate white and chocolate. That was one of their findings. Some of the production sheets, some of the grades are grouped together, like 7 through 12, which it has to be 6 through 8. And 6 through 12, it has to be 6 through 8, 7 through 12, which is hard to separate because they all come to the line at the same time. So we're working on that. And then another thing was that every August, I need to contact the health department requesting that they inspect our kitchens at least twice a year. And that's basically the gist of it, but I'm just doing the corrective action at this point to.
I have a question. So one of the statements you made was that they want everything that you use is got to be made in the USA. So I thought I remembered, this is way back when we were on the wellness policy today there.
We ordered candy bar.
Mosaic, exactly. Now we're talking.
Oh my No, but I thought that we got like because we brought up during that, when we were on that committee, we brought up the fact that we don't use local farmers for some of the produce, and I think you told us that we get it from Ginsburg, but there's also, they get their like lettuce not in the country, correct?
No, they do. They
Oh,
get
they
it.
do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We get our apples from Yonder View Farms. So Ginsburg's does source out
Okay,
locally.
good, that's
Okay.
good.
We
But at that
had,
time, they did it though, correct?
I don't remember
Yeah, I
exactly,
don't
but
think they did.
things, had banana peppers on the salad bar. And when I was looking for their product formulation statement, it said it came from, I think, Chile. And so I called Ginsburg's because they're entitled, they have to, according to the bid, buy American products. So I had to take that off the menu. It was purchased, it was packed in the United States, but the product came from Chile. So we had to get rid of those.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
That's
like,
a little crazy. But
yeah,
And have you had any trouble with any supplies of any?
oh God, yeah.
There's.
Yeah, my turkeys that I ordered for next year have been canceled due to the bird flu, the Asian bird flu. Paper goods have been like, my budget on that tripled, my cost tripled. Because we couldn't find paper goods, they wouldn't, for a while, we can't get straws, we can't get the milk straws, we have to get the big size straws. It's really been, for the tins that we deliver to the classrooms, for the K through 3, they doubled in price from $40 a case to $86 a case. And because we try to do it.
Is it true, I've heard this somewhere, I may have seen it on TV, that FDA wants to give it a chocolate milk in the school?
There's been talk about that, but I know New York State doesn't offer it, but I don't think it's gone further than just conversation about it. And it's a big seller. It gets students who don't like milk, that they'll drink it.
Is there any talk in the state of having whole milk in school?
No, and I know we've spoken about this before.
it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't, the fat-free milk, the chocolate milk has to be fat-free. It can't be 1% or 2%.
The chocolate milk has
It has to be fat-free. Yeah. And the white milk is 1%. That's the highest it can go. And you have to put the chocolate milk in front of the white milk. I mean, the white milk in front of the chocolate milk. In the milk cooler. when it's
And make them work for it.
Oh, my.
So that's my life for the past 2 months.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Student liaison report, Madeline. Oh, Madeline. Okay. No old business at this time. Okay, new business. We have, need a motion for the approval of the annual district election.
I would like to actually share some data with the
Oh,
board,
okay,
if that's possible. Okay.
absolutely.
So I just want to mention that we had 81 more voters this year, which hopefully will be more this year. Our total, including absentees, is 641 this year, and last year we had 560, including absentees. We had 597 people in person with 44 absentees. People that were registered, there was 582, and we registered about 15, whether they were just an 18 or they just moved to the district. So we registered 15 new community members. Some of the traffic stats, like hour by hour, I think the highest was around, surprisingly, 3:30, with 104 people. But it was very steady the whole time. We barely had any downtime or, any breaks. So I think overall it was a really good turnout. It was really quick with the iPad this year. And we had a lot of good feedback regarding the iPad.
So, you have the data by age group? Sure.
So 18 to 29 years old was 2.62%, 30 to 54 years old was 5.21%, 55 to 74 is 8.18%, and 75 and older is 6.97%.
So what does that mean in numbers, I guess? It was turnout, that was not. Okay, so it looks like the age group 55 to 74 were 300 of the voters, 75 and older were 91, and 30 years old to 54 was 163 voters, and 18 to 29 was 28 voters.
Just for reference, we have about 9,200 people registered in the district, and our turnout is about 641.
Zero percentage of that.
6.6.
Yes, 6.35%.
20,000.
Yeah, it's 9,171.
Okay, thanks. Okay, I need a motion for the approval of the annual district election results on May 17, 2022. Bill, second. Joe, any questions? All in favor? Okay, next up is the authorization of disposal of various textbooks. Motion, please. Alicia, second. Heidi, any questions? All in favor? All right, so we have a memorandum of agreement for the COVID attendant bonus. I'm not gonna read all of that, but actually we'll do it for, let's see, this is for all of the groups and the superintendent, so then, motion please. Joe, second. Karen, any questions? All in favor? So now we have a memorandum of agreement with the Taconic Hills Faculty Association. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of Taconic Hills Central School District hereby approves the agreement by and between the district and Taconic Hills Faculty Association and Jennifer Anderson dated May 18, 2022, authorizes the superintendent to execute the agreement and ratifies and approves the payment of money contained therein. Motion. Bill, second. Second, Ron. Any questions on that? All in favor? Thank you. Memorandum of agreement with the Taconic Hills Middle Management Association, be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Taconic Hills Central School District hereby approves the memorandum of agreement by and between the district and the Taconic Hills Middle Management Association effective May 16, 2022, and approves the payments provided therein to Ashley Dubois, Alexis Miller, and Eileen Johnson. Motion, please. Need a motion first. Motion? Heidi, second, Ron. Okay, now question.
I'm just curious if those were offered to other staff or just like to them.
Well, it was kind of designed to be offered to people who had certain skills and to reward people who were taking initiative to move forward. So the short answer is that we did not find an adequate candidate for the position, so we decided to be broken up.
But not offered, it wasn't put out there.
It was put out as a whole position, not as a part, three-part position.
Any more questions?
Who was the second?
It was Heidi and. Who was the second? Oh, you were. Sorry. I wrote it down, sorry. Okay. Tax cert reserve account, Coast Board of Education hereby closes the 2019-2020 and the 2020-2021 tax cert reserve accounts returning the total balance of $3,305.32, including any applicable interest to the general fund in accordance with education law. Motion, please. Joe, second. Ron. Any questions? Thank you. All right, we have the acceptance of insurance proceeds in the amount of $33,315.89 from the January 12, 2022 heating oil breakdown and facility damage. Motion, please. Carrie, second. Joe, any questions? All in favor? Acceptance of the insurance proceeds in the amount of $11,784.70 from the February 4th, 2022 unit ventilator motor damage. Motion. Joe, second. Ron. Any questions?
No question.
Okay.
Do these, proceeds cover the entire portion, entire damage? All the big deductible.
Good. All in favor? So now we have the resolution. This is what Neil was talking about that solar farm there on 217. We want to be part of the pilot, right?
How large is that?
Have a motion, please. No, that's okay. Motion. Carrie, second. Second. I'm sorry. Okay, now the question.
So how large is this, project?
I really don't know. And all the information I have is sent to you.
All in favor? Thank you. All right, we've got a couple of donations here. We have Fox Top Education labels, and we have a Yamaha Grand Touch Digital grand piano. That's pretty cool. Can I have a motion, please? Heidi, second. Terry, any questions on those?
Yeah, where is it?
Did we get the piano yet?
No.
Oh,
It will probably replace one of our other electronic pianos.
Yeah, so we can see.
That's
Yeah.
We need a certain system.
all in favor? Thank you. Carrie. Sorry. All right, so now we need approval of summer curriculum projects. Motion, please. Heidi, second. Ron. Any questions on those?
Before we get to,
What?
we're actually, okay.
Any more questions, Chair? All in favor? All right, we got second public forum. We have Christine.
I really have nothing. I can talk to you later about the Brandy place going in our neighborhood, the clock farm.
You got it. It was really cool. It was.
Was it? All right.
It was. Okay, so Do we have any additional items to discuss? I mean, the only thing I wanted to, I know now that we have June 8th, we have that other thing. I'll see if I can come up with another date for that new board member workshop that I wanted to do. And this year I didn't want to bring NISBA into it. My thought process was, I don't know if you guys remember when Christine was here, she made up this handbook for new board members. And in it, there's a lot of, situations, that come up that we've all experienced as board members. And I just think it's better if we kind of go through this as a board and bring the new board members here, even though they're not, they're not sitting, but they still should come and, go through this booklet. And us as board members can relate our experiences. I just think it'll be more valuable educational wise than to have this here. And because NISBA, after he's here an hour, you're just like, yeah, she says, two in a mouth, exactly, that's what we do. I mean, so I just think this will be more valuable, especially for the new board members. So, but I will try to come up with a different date. If not, we'll keep it, but I'll reach out to you guys another day. Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? All right, I need a motion to go to executive session to discuss contract negotiations with employment. Bill, second. Alicia. All there. Go, great for hand. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Happy anniversary, Chris.